There we are. Thank you. Thank you again. Matthew Reese, M-A-T-T-H-E-W-R-E-S. So with this specific rule, signature matching, perhaps the ballot, I think it's already stated numerous times. Very concerning that we presume that a signature, which is the critical piece of information on an absentee ballot, is good. And also having put the burden on clerks again, I think that already is pretty clear that we are looking with all of these rules to burden clerks beyond the point of them, their ability, their skill set, and their pay, for that matter. It's just really concerning because then you're going to basically burn out clerks until they just give up and say, you know what, I'm just going to presume all these ballots are fun. All right, so these are the kind of things that happen in the real world when these kind of rules are implemented. Is that over time, all right, I'm going to try and do my best to make sure that even with these rules, I'm being critical, I'm making sure that we don't have any fraudulent things, but then they might jeopardize, and I feel like they're in jeopardy of getting sued or something like that because, oh, I didn't follow the rules, the vague rules that say presume everything is good until you're absolutely certain. And even if you're absolutely certain, maybe just presume they have a disability. Maybe just presume that this person is old and can't write their signature. Like, that's kind of crazy. I mean, most of the situations where we have ballot harvesting issues, fraudulent signature issues, stem around folks forging the signatures of the elderly, taking them from senior citizens' homes, taking absentee ballots that were just mailed out to them in like this last election without their request, sending that form out, filling out the form for an older person, and then sending it back with a fraudulent signature that you did in scribbles so that someone would just approve it. So I have a lot of problems with this because, again, I think we saw a lot of these fraudulent claims and attempts being made in the last election without the rule. So to try and strengthen it with a formal rule is just going to go down the road to oblivion. So thank you for your time.
Good job.
The next person I have is Louis the Valor.
Avalon. A-D-A-L-L-O-N-E. I speak
Avalon.
Yeah, so thinking on my concerns of the line organization, care integrity, professional development. Okay, so I want to explain a lot of numbers and legal errors. Rule 2 states that the proposed rules for signature matching apply exclusively to activities defined by section 761(2).
Speak up, please.
This appears,
Thank you.
yeah, this appears to conflict with the stated goals of the proposed rules. It states that absentee voter ballot applications and envelopes need to be signature matched. I think it's been overlooked that 761(2) only defines a signature matching activity related to the processing of absentee ballot applications. This means that as written, the proposed rules would only apply to signature verification for absentee ballot applications and not the envelopes. Next, statutory conflicts. The proposed rules instruct that when performing a verification of the presumed voter's signature, the signature on the absentee ballot application may be used for comparison. This is in contrary to all statutes that require signature matching to be performed. And I list 6 of them in the documents I sent to you. In all cases, these statutes specify that only the MasterCard signature or its digital image stored in the PDF may be used to verify presumed voter's signature. This direct conflict between the instructions in the proposed rules and the statutory requirements implies that the proposed rules are unlawful. So that gets into statutory violations. Sections 31.1 and 765(a)(13 outline that the Secretary of State has authority and responsibility for providing rules and guidance for the conduct of elections, but they must remain compliant with existing election laws. MCL 168.931(2) states that unless otherwise indicated, all violations of election laws for which an offense is not specified are to be considered misdemeanors. 168.680 outlines the oath taken by election inspectors to report all punishable election offenses, even if there's only a reason to believe the law is violated. Taken together, these statutes reveal that the Secretary of State is guilty of a misdemeanor should the unlawful instructions from the proposed rules be implemented. Furthermore, election inspectors and the Secretary of State is obligated to investigate them. Finally, the application of the proposed rules at the November 3rd, 2020 election is suggested a misdemeanor, as described above, has already been committed and not reported.
The next person I have is Alex.
Yes, I will. What's up going on, everybody? What's going on? Yeah, I spoke once. I'm gonna be speaking again.
It's my position to this rule also. Valentine is a Valentine, no E at the end. D-U, E as in D-U-M-I-T-R-E-S. Instead of making the election more secure, the Secretary of State seems to she has a plan to make it less secure and more less secure. I think the Arizona audit results could have come to a better time than now, that people who, I mean, the media is honestly reporting they apply to more Arizona, not informing the people the rest of the audit, which was more than the handy count. The handy count cannot identify fraudulent ballots because the ballot by design protects the security of the vote is separated either or from the envelope it came in. So what regarding the signature, what is already found is that many signatures were considered valid if they were blank or scribbles. So we need, in order to protect the integrity of the election and to ensure that the people who are voting are the actual people who represent 1 million person connected to 1 million vote, the signature to be not to be strictly valid. So that's why I strongly oppose this change.
The next
Go ahead.
Thank you, and on behalf of the more than 2,000 Commission members whose petition has been submitted this morning. It really is amazing that the Court of Claims can say that there's no statutory basis for a presumption of validity of the signature, and yet the rule begins the presumption of validity of the signature. But it goes even beyond that. It actually provides a roadmap. It says exactly how one can submit a signature that must be presumed valid. Because even if a signature is said to have multiple and obvious deficiencies, it provides exactly how any one curing factor can require that any signature, no matter how many multiple, obvious, and severe deficiencies, must be presumed as valid. It literally provides a foolproof formula for forgery. And what makes this so significant is that the signature match is the only thing we have to ensure that the person who's submitted the ballot is actually the person to whom it was issued. The Bipartisan Commission on Federal Election Reform, chaired by President Jimmy Carter and former Secretary of State James Baker, identified absentee ballots as the most significant source of ballot insecurity, which is obvious because the ballots are out in the field, unlike ballots that are collected at the polls on election day. The signature match is what the Secretary of State has herself relied on in argument against voter ID, claiming that the signature verification is all that's necessary. And yet, here she comes before us, saying that here is exactly how you get a signature verification standard. So lenient, so lax, it actually provides exactly how anybody attempting to intercept a ballot and provide a fraudulent signature can do so and be certain that it would be assumed valid by the poll workers. There is little question that this was done in bad faith, this was done intentionally to facilitate election fraud, and there is no statutory basis. We will intend to appeal this rule if it goes before JCAR. Thank you for your time.
Good job. Good job.
next person I have is Ethan Hobson.
You too.
How are you gentlemen today? Morning. You need the proper spelling of my name also?
If you don't mind, yes.
E-T-H-A-N, his first name H-O-B, as in boy, S-O-N is the second name.
God.
Benjamin sold out our elections before the election was even here. Her, along with Priorities USA, a DC lobbying group, and also the biggest donor to Joe Biden's campaign, decided to have a lawsuit with our signature matching process, deeming it unconstitutional. This was originally filed in October, and the judge found that Priorities USA had no standing in the matter. So Priorities USA came back 2 months later with a plaintiff for the case. Our Senate and our House as well sent an attorney over to this matter, and these violations still were not brought back to the legislature. And we would all like to know why. These changes were already implemented and given to the clerks and used in the 2020 election. But now we get our public hearing, and now the people get a voice. And this will be passed around to everybody here so everybody can read this. And this whole stack of documents will be left to you gentlemen at the end of the day so you can go over this entire case of when this lobbying group for DC tried to invade our elections, and Secretary Benson complied with it. Before a judge even entered his ruling on this case, she complied with this group. And that's where all these changes came and were implemented in 2020. The biggest being, at the bottom of the statement released by Mark Elias, it says, another victory for voting rights. Michigan Secretary of State revised the signature match process as a result of federal lawsuit from Washington, D.C. In October, we sued Michigan on behalf of Priorities USA to block their unconstitutional signature matching process. Under Michigan election law, election officials rejected absentee applications and ballots. The main one I want to go to on the back here because of time is they requested formal signature matching training. They instruct the clerks to presume that the signature is valid and a voter's signature is only considered questionable if it differs in multiple significant and obvious respects from the signature on file. Slight dissimilarities should be resolved in favor of the voter whenever possible. Now that sounds really familiar to what's being presented today from her. The exact wording from Mark Elias of Priorities USA is exactly what we're hearing in these documents today. Thank you, gentlemen.
The next person I have is Patrice or Patricia Johnson.
Patrice. P-A-T-R-I-C-E, Johnson. I would like to express on behalf of Peer Integrity for Michigan Elections extreme opposition to all three rules. Clearly, I think the speakers that we've had here today, from Christina Caramo to Adam Angeli to Louis Avalon, have all clearly expressed that the regulations and statutes within Michigan would be violated by instituting these rules. There's a clear intent on the Secretary of State's part to deliberately violate them, as she did before in 2020. And as the prior speaker indicated, she took the same rules then and is rolling them over now, and she didn't even generate them herself. But she is aware of the statutes in Michigan. And if she isn't, she certainly has access to attorneys that should be able to advise her that these are in clear violation of all the intent and statutes within our election laws. Thank you.
Rob Cornelius.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll speak here today. Several questions about this particular edict. Is there a problem with folks getting thrown out too often for mismatched signatures? Is that the reason why this is being proposed? Michigan has had historically weak enforcement of this ballot security feature, so I'm not sure how this would improve that. Is this to make voting easier or safer? Why does the current Secretary of State want to dilute votes of Michiganders potentially through voter fraud with this separate proposal? And if forced in, can these proposed changes survive judicial challenges since they contradict the current law? With Jocelyn Benson now in the state legislature. So, thank you.
Nancy Thomas. Nancy Thomas.
Got it. Coming. So I'm supposed to spell my name, first, last, all the above?
I have it NANCYPOMIS.
Correct. And without the respect, I appreciate you guys doing this. Girls, he, she's, it's, whatever we want to be. And I just found out about this, so I don't have the background. It sounds like most of these people can cite rules and all that. I come from, and so I just wanted to put my 2 cents in is that again, I'm vehemently opposed to all these rule changes. I had the pleasure of working the 2020 election, the primary and the general, and when I did as a poll worker, I was strictly in the absentee ballot. And room where there was, for those of us, I didn't know until this year that it was a Democrat and Republican adjudicating, making sure everything was right, including signatures. And if there was something funky, the clerk would previously hired in or brought in a bunch of people to make sure these signatures were right that through the absentee and the mail-in ballots. And if they weren't, they took painstakingly effort to call these people and say, hey, this isn't working. And for the most part, they got people coming in to validate the signatures. And those that were not, they couldn't validate because they were scribbled or they didn't make sense. They were put aside and every effort was made to contact these people. I was in a primarily Democratic city and the clerk is a Democrat and I saw she painstakingly went through the course of doing what is the right thing. And that is making sure that the signatures match. And I think by the Secretary of State doing what she's trying to do, I want to understand what is the motive. If we're in the middle of this crisis, and we all know it's a crisis, whether you want to believe it or not, you know, if we want ballot integrity, what is this lady trying to do? You know, polarize it even more. You know, the right people do the right thing. Whether you're on the right or the left, most of us want, you know, an election that's not compromised. And I think this is rubbish. And I think this is the way we're going to end up with this if we do this.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I'll spell it. It's L-E-T-H-E-M-O-N. Can everybody in the back hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I am so sorry for the lack of audio ability today. I'm sitting in the second row and I can't hear them.
Yeah.
I can't. I've been a poll challenger, I've been a poll worker, I've been on the adjudication computers, and I was also on the board of canvassers for Oakland County.
It's the greatest show on earth.
It is. And we don't need to lessen the ability to get an accurate vote. In Michigan, what we really need in the absentee voter process is to open up the clerk's office, allowing poll challengers to watch the signature verification process. We are not allowed to do that right now. We need to be able to do that. Yeah. So we need to pass laws to do this. We just want a fair election. That's all we want.
Yes.
One vote, one person, that's it, totally. And what we have today is massive fraud. When Jacqueline Benson sent out all the applications to all the people that don't even exist anymore.
I got 30.
You got 30, okay.
I
Wow.
had an affidavit that I will vote in person.
We're gonna have to stop here. The purpose of this is to provide public comment on the rules.
Okay?
He is.
In order for the court transcript to accurately reflect the comments, we can't have, back and forth. So please. proceed.
Okay, no more back and forth, I'm sorry. I should have called on a lady, I apologize.
Thank you.
But anyways, what we need is a more secure election, where I vote absentee because I work the polls. So I go to my clerk's office, I fill out my application, I then fill out my ballot and mail it in. Or actually, I drop it off in their box. And we don't need Zucker boxes around town either.
Right.
The clerk then verifies my application to the ballot. Make sure the signatures match. And over the years, people's signatures change. So what you have on file from 15, 20 years ago, whatever the person had electronically, people's signatures change. So we need a current signature on the application as well as the ballot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna interview him after this. I'm gonna find him.
I have Lisa.
What's going on, everybody? Buffery, Galilee, row in the building, Heart Pure.
My name is Lisa Capatina. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I actually only came to support those speaking against Jocelyn Benson's proposed changes to current election law for the following reasons. I decided to speak today because after listening to all of the comments, I felt compelled to support them by my voice as well. After all the concerns with election integrity and potential fraud after the 2020 election, I decided to work an election for the very first time in my entire life this past August. I wanted to see for myself what were all the concerns everybody was talking about. I decided not to listen to the media narrative or other people's comments, but to actually work the process myself. While I was in awe of the current voting process in our republic and felt extremely privileged to take part in it, it did become very clear to me that the potential for fraud certainly does exist. If someone truly wanted to commit fraud, there are certainly plenty of opportunities. I am here to strongly oppose any continued changes in our current statutes that the Secretary of State Benson proposes to increase our potential for fraud and lessen citizens' confidence in our election process. I implore you not to consider those changes. I actually believe that every
Sorry about that, everyone. That was on the other end.
certainly wants to have a secure election and to support it with confidence in it. Jocelyn Benson actually should be the one most concerned with doing it and not working to actually work against citizens' confidence.
Good job, sister. Good job.
I have 8 or 80.
Close enough.
Can I ask you to spell it, please?
You can, I will not rewrite my signature there. Oh, gee, yeah!
Get him.
Just coming here to support what I feel are unconstitutional violations of my rights. And I was just going to contend with you here for physical support.
Amen.
When I see your hypocrisy here, that you want me to validate the spelling of my name because you can't read my signature, and you're asking me to defend no validation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
If you dare to listen to this, I'm ashamed that you're not here to confront your constituents.
at the time. Good job, sister. Glory to God.
Let's have another one, bless.
Glory to God. Where's Jocelyn? She ain't required to be here. Shouldn't she be required to be here?
Did they introduce themselves when they started?
Right.
Good morning.
I'm gonna ask that.
I am here today to represent multitudes of mothers and grandmothers across our state.
Amen.
For the most part, we do not live our lives for greed or power. Our desires are related to our families, our liberties, and our pursuit of happiness. And for some of us, we live to please our God and Creator. We have become very concerned this past year about the shocking but accurate reports of problems within our election process. The mainstream media and social media cannot deceive all of us, and we no longer are blinded in our little cocoons. In all due respect, it does not take a professional to see the flaws in these proposed rules from Secretary of State Benson. She is flagrantly acknowledging her desire to make the security of our elections a joke. We the people want to make sure our elections are true and fair. The proposed rules for mail-in ballots would make it an open season for fraud with little or no validation of a legal voter. The proposed rules are illogical and incomplete, not to mention the blatant disregard of current laws. You must stop this from proceeding. We must work on exposing and fixing the problems, not try to cover them up.
Yes.
More opportunities for fraud.
Right.
These rules do not provide uniform standards for city and township clerks. On the contrary, it makes it vague and virtually impossible for an election official to eliminate fraudulent signatures. We need to strive for strong rules and accuracy and transparency. Please stop this mockery of our election process. The truth needs to prevail, not the desires of a greedy and corrupt oligarchy. As our representatives, we ask that you defend our Constitution, seek truth, and rebuild our faith in our elections. Finally, please stand for all the mothers everywhere, and our children's future, and for all the men who have braved and fought for our freedoms in this country as the land of the free. God bless you with courage and wisdom. Thank you. Awesome.
Amen. Good job, sister.
Are there any remaining individuals who have not had a chance to speak on Rules 61? Next 16 now, I will call you up. If you are not signed in, I will need you to sign in. All right. You are done speaking.
All right. Yeah, my name is Brandon Roberts, and I just got a few questions. Spoke with a township clerk last night. She was very upset. She wasn't informed about this. Like I said, she likes to be informed. She's a part of a lot of associations, and she thinks that she should have been informed. So, you know, it probably would be a lot more people here too if it was more publicized. But just like the clerk said, they're probably trying to do this stuff under the rug without them noticing. But I'm also wondering, in the RIS form, it asks for people to list the burdens that this may possibly bring. And they said it wasn't going to bring no burdens. So we just heard all these burdens placed on the clerks and on the candidates when it comes to the vetting and all this stuff. But why weren't they listed in the RIS forms? Just a lot of stuff not listed in them RIS forms, and those are supposed to provide clarity as to what these rules are going to do that Jocelyn Benson is proposing. So why aren't they filled out with detail and providing the accuracy that they're supposed to provide? The burdens are supposed to be listed on the forms. What do we do when our Secretary of State, our Chief Election Officer is corrupt? What do we do? You know what I'm saying? I request that Jocelyn Benson step down or resign because she is so crooked and corrupt. The election's been being stolen for a long time. It's not new. It's not new. For all these representatives and legislators and government officials to sit and act like it's impossible or we just conspiracy theorists or this is crazy and absurd, it just shows that y'all complicit and y'all little
people in power, and Jocelyn Benson worked for one. His name is George Soros.
You know who I am. I ain't filling that out.
Look at the detail that you are insisting upon for us to just sit here and speak. Repeat your name. Spell your name.
Yeah.
Over and over and over.
Let's get their names. What's y'all names?
If a scribble is okay today, what's next? I mean, come on. And we would love if somebody could pick up the phone and call your boss and have her come down and address us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. 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 Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, we ticked off. We got the right to be ticked off.
Security has my name. He already did.
Yeah, I signed in once. We need Jocelyn to step down.
Could you imagine working a poll? Did you ever work a poll? Could you imagine working at an election facility and repeating what you just did? That's the point here. Don't treat me like a number.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Evelyn Archer, again, ARC. Could you, folks, please, thank you for holding this hearing. Could you please tell us the name of your body as well as
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's my question, because many of us don't know actually what body we're speaking for, so we're exchanging
Who are we
our
commenting
ideas.
to?
Could you at least exchange the name of your body to whom we're speaking? Are you state elections? I don't really know.
Can we start with this gentleman here?
So I would like you to, we have already introduced ourselves. We are with the Department of State. We are here to hear public testimony on these rule sets. So if I would ask that if you have any public testimony.
You won't even give your name? Could you sign in, please?
Right. Right.
Yes,
We can look up your name.
the next rule set.
So, that's kind of stupid.
See, that's why it'd be so hard to remain civilized, because you dealing with little swamp creature pawns. Don't know nothing about nothing.
We are on to the public comment on rule set 62. It is the online absent voter application form. I am going to again, testimony is limited to 2 minutes per person. And I will call names in order of which I have them on the sheet.
Man.
The first person I have is Christina.
Let's go. Let's go, sister. I'm so ticked off, man. I can't even sit out here. Mm-hmm.
People are ticked off because our elections are the only manners to which we, the governed, give our consent. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start off again my complaint and objection to this rule with the quote I started with from the last one, which is a direct quote from Jocelyn Benson. We've always had identification requirements in Michigan. It's called a signature. It's one of the hardest things to fake. While you can fake an ID, it's harder to fake a signature. So that's the most secure way of protecting the vote. And that quote in itself is stupid because we all know that faking a signature versus getting a fake ID, come on. But really, I might referencing this rule, this quote with this rule, because now she wants people to submit absentee ballot applications online and use their on-file signature with their registration form. Then that means that instead of looking at 3 signatures, now we're knocking it down to 2 signatures. And then this rule works in perfect tandem with Rule 061 that we get the signature verification process. Now we're only going to be looking at 2 signatures. And Jocelyn Benson knows that the qualified voter file is violated We currently have a clerk in Southfield who's indicted in election crime, still clerk in Southfield and running for re-election.
Wow.
This is a massive problem, and we're not going to stand for it.
Nope.
So for her to submit this rule in tandem with the other rule, it is obvious she's politicized the election process to disenfranchise the people of Michigan, to nullify legal votes of each one. There is no reason for a person who claims that signature verification is the most important way to ensure security in our elections to then remove one signature from the verification process, moving this down to 2 signatures, and then open a situation where people can legally request ballots from other people's day.
Good job, sister. Not one person in support of none of these rules. Not one person. So we're going to see how much we the people matter in Jocelyn and Dana and Gretchen state. Oh, this is our state. For the record.
Again, here with Senator Johnson, Chair of the Election Committee, and former Secretary of State. We're here to oppose this rule. We find this rule to be an absolute abuse of the administrative rulemaking process. If we want to change the law, that is something that is done by the lawmakers, by the legislature. It is not the prerogative of the department to change law through the administrative rulemaking process. This online application and the rule that is proposed directly contradicts Michigan election law. It states that the online absent voter ballot application must provide an opportunity for a voter to use the voter's stored digital signature on file with the Secretary of State on the application. Michigan election law states that an applicant for an absent voter ballot shall sign the application. A clerk or assistant clerk shall not deliver an absent voter ballot application to someone who does not sign the application. The statutory language does not say the voter shall sign it, or they can answer a few questions on the Secretary of State what their signature is. That's not the statutory. When we did an analysis thing with online voter registration, we went through the legislative process. You get a bill passed, you get it signed into law by the governor. That is the appropriate process for this type of change. And I also would just note it's ironic to us that the information in the proposed rule that you would request to affix this signature is a complete driver's license or state ID number and the last four of the social security number. Yet when we passed legislation for voter ID through the Michigan Senate recently, which would have added the exact same information to the absentee ballot application to provide better identity verification, the Secretary of State opposed those rules. Thank you.
Jen Psaki, he's gonna circle back. Jen Psaki. Yeah.
Electronic signature verification scares the hell out of me. There's so much knowledge in the internet. I mean, corporations, companies, governments, personal email accounts are getting hacked all the time. And I don't think there's anything that would stop the Secretary of State's office from hacked and verifications being messed with and stolen. There's nothing similar than 2 handwritten signatures and 3 being verified by a person. That's the most secure way that we have to verify signatures. I think the electronic stuff is just ripe for fraud.
Thank you, Brian.
Louis Avalon.
I prepared a document for you guys, sent it to you by email. I'm just going to try to paraphrase it here, like everybody's thoughts. More or less, what I'd like to explain, at least my understanding, that Section 759 provides the file with the Secretary of State, and that the stored digital signature means the image of the registered voter's signature captured by the Department of State and maintained by the Department of State's voter database. I'd like to point out that MCL 16859GG strictly prohibits the Secretary of State or any other elected official from disclosing the signature of the voter as captured per MCL 16859HH. So my interpretation of that is it doesn't matter who you disclose the signature to, if you're disclosing the signature of someone back to that person, even, it would be in violation of the statute 509GG. And as I mentioned earlier, that indicates that there will be laws violated by putting these rules into process, and they have to be reported as violations by elections inspectors.
Holly McNichol.
Again, Illinois, Nickel, like the road. Thanks for sitting up here. You guys are going to be around for our Secretary of State, which we're very thankful to be directed by her. In 2020, 47% of Americans experienced financial identity theft per cybercrime. So we all know it's not safe to put your information online. We all of us know that. Because anything online is open to tampering by anyone with the motivation, whether it's a college kid in a computer forensic class to our enemies of the United States. All can tamper with anything. Nothing is secure. And youth in our elections already generation actually wins. So increasing the use of the internet to allow absentee ballot applications, well, it's nuts. It's reckless at best. And in reality, it would like wholesale election. So please don't consider it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's that? Understand how anyone would think that this is a secure way to absentee, especially given all the problems that we had with some of the voting machines around the country in the last election, that we know of in the last election. Also, it directly contradicts the current statute, which requires that, quote, the applicants who are absent voting ballot shall sign the application. And again, my question is Jocelyn Benson in the state legislature, because that is a statute, that's a law. And last time I checked, secretaries of state were to carry out the laws under the purview, not to make new laws. So that's my only question about this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Big Scott in the building.
Could I just preface this? Do you have a business card that we could have?
Actually, don't have any.
Anyone have a business card? We honestly don't know where you're from, what part of government you're representing.
Right.
We're testifying. We don't know who we're testifying for.
So we all work for the Department of State
From federal or state?
the Michigan Department.
Michigan Department. Okay.
And so we are here on behalf of the rules, listening to public comments.
But none of you have business cards. I find that hard to believe.
Do you have comment that you would wish to provide on this?
Man, y'all. Oh my goodness, man.
Without a bloop transaction.
See, this is why I can't, man.
For my presentation,
That's why
I
it's so.
apologize again for the audio. I can't hear.
That's why I get so loud all
My
the
hearing
time,
is
man.
not great. I'm in the second row, and I can't hear. Okay, the first
That's why I
thing
get so
I would
loud.
like to state is any change to election laws has to be done by our state legislature, not by our Secretary of State. That's the first thing. How she's doing an end around, I don't know why.
We do
This
criminals.
process would take control away from our local clerks.
Yeah.
There is a process already for local clerks to send out online applications for absentee voting. There's a process already.
Could you pay attention, please?
Good morning, Bill.
I'm sorry?
No, talking to
They don't care what we saying. They don't care one bit.
So anyways, this takes the control away from our clerks. There's already a process that they have. This process would weaken our voting system, not enhance it. The only thing this is going to enhance is fraud.
Yep.
The only thing it's going to
Yep.
provide.
That's what she want.
So, and take away the safeguards. After the 2020 election, there's so many people that say, I'm not even going to bother to vote. What difference does it make? You've got sucker boxes, you've got absentee ballots coming in truckloads from out of state and everything else. So I don't want to get into that, but we need a more robust process to ensure our elections, not to weaken them. Thank you.
Good morning, Brother Bill. Yeah, we letting these swamp creatures have it. All right, Jocelyn sent her little swamp creatures sitting up there.
I'd like to speak on this issue to the council, if I may. My name's Jackie Lovrance. Thank you for allowing me to speak freely. If you can't speak freely, you're simply not free. My conclusion from what I've read recently about House bills that are being represented to our legislator is simply a simple issue. Many, many decades we've had the results overnight. What I am reading in these bills that because of our new election laws that Ms. Benson is proposing, it's going to go on for days or maybe weeks before we get a result. Fix that problem. We've been doing it for decades and centuries. It can be done again. There's other solutions. Again, if I have to reference to my Dominion and all the illegals that are coming in and laws that are being portrayed at 16 years old voting age, I'm not interested. I did not vote for Dominion or an electronic voting system. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
One more person with which, oh, sorry.
I would just like to speak, if I might. It's Patrice Johnson, and I didn't sign up, and this will just take a second. But my understanding is that these rules have been submitted, and that the committee, the JCAR committee, has a set number of days, but they can't strike them down. They can return them for 270 days, and then if the Secretary of State chooses to proceed, we will end up in a system of the legislature litigating against the Secretary of State. So I would just ask you to please change these requests now so that you don't put the state through this. It's a clear violation of law. It's going to lead to trouble. There's no logic behind it other than some kind of malintent. So just look at the statutes, honor them, and rescind these rules.
I have one more person who has signed up to speak on Rule 60, which is disqualification from ballot based upon content of affidavit of identity. William Lefferman.
Sorry, me again.
William.
Election law is very complicated. I've been to my city clerk's office, I've talked to the representatives at the office, and I asked them questions. I don't really get real firm, definitive answers. Now, if I were a candidate, and I went to my clerk's office, because that's where you go to fill out the application to run for an office, and they tell you information incorrectly,
not deliberately, just incorrectly, and you submit it to the Secretary of State, you can't change it. With that being said, they're going to disqualify you in a future election. This is, I don't know why they're doing this, and there's just doesn't make any sense to me that somebody told you something in error or you made a mistake and you can't correct it and now you can't run for office. There's no due process. You're disqualified before you even get started. So that's my comment for this. Thank you. You need due process.
Yeah, I do. I have one. I do. I have a question regarding the affidavit of identity requirement. So one of the forms of logic that is used in support of this rule is that it will help affirm identity. Now, the Secretary of State is keeper of the records. One of the Secretary of State's responsibilities is to affirm identity. So it's really an unnecessary requirement. So I do have a question for you guys, because part of public comment shouldn't be just a rambling. We want answers. So the other two rules, it's obvious that Secretary Benton is trying to inject our system with a new ballot. It's obvious why she's doing that. But for the other rule, why? Why put this unnecessary burden? Why submit this rule and claim it's to help establish identity? When the Secretary of State already has access to all of our birth certificates, death records, she is the one who controls whether or not I have an ID. So she already knows we are who we say we are. So if someone can tell me why for Rule 060.
So the rationale for why we have proposed this rule is all outlined in the regulatory impact statement and the request for
No. No.
refer to that stuff.
No, it's not.
I do, but that answer is sufficient because I've read it.
Right.
And there's no state or federal law requiring you to do so. And part of the logic is because it helps us establish identity and there's no existing guidance on there. Just because there's no existing guidance on something doesn't mean it requires like a rule regarding it when it does not serve a million people. This actually disenfranchises millions of people, not millions, excuse me, thousands of people who want to run for office, especially people in low income and middle income communities will be disenfranchised in words because they lack the resources to hire all the necessary people to comb through all the things in the rules. So my question again is why the rule? It does not help establish identity. That's bogus because the Secretary of State already does that. Part of her job description. She already has access to all the records. So why put the burden on her? Why? The answer is there are
Exactly. I got one more. Good job, Kristen.
Yes, I signed up, yeah. If I say no to speak, because I thought I said yes.
I think I accidentally.
That's okay. Yes.
Can I make a comment?
Can I
Yes. So I'm volunteering you first.
and just for the
60, yeah. The absentee ballot is many opportunities for, and normal election has a person who knows for good reasons, out of state, out of the country, takes initiative, requests the ballot, and sends it to me with the hand. This is the normal election. Now, this rule will just trash this normal election rule and will make it even more horrible for people to submit for multiple ballots. And as a matter of fact, Arizona already showed that 34,448 ballots are either 2, 3, or 4 copy duplicate, but majority 2 copy duplicate. If you divide by 2, it's 17,000, 1.5 more than the difference between the two candidates, Biden and Trump. So we need the absent, so we need to eliminate, this rule needs to be rejected, and I told you.
Oh, thank you,
So
Brother
that
Bill.
people go back to the normal way of the secure way to make sure that they vote by taking the initiative, asking for a ballot, either in person, the clerk office, or through mail with a handwritten in signature.
Yes. Yeah. To all y'all asking, that's Sister Christina Caramo right there. She is running for Secretary of State. So go to ChristinaCaramo.com.
Person here today, as far as I can recall, might be wrong, but not one person has spoken in favor of any of these rules.
Exactly.
I believe that should be a de facto reason right there, just to withdraw the rule. With this much public opposition, I don't know how the secretary can proceed with such a flawed rule. If you had even one person here in favor of it, maybe we could have more of a debate. There's no debate here. This thing should be withdrawn.
Yeah. Right. Right. Audrey.
And then we'll reset the time and we'll switch to rule set 62, which is the online voter, the absent voter ballot application. So we could start with the first one just for the court reporter, just take it there. And so whenever you're ready, or what?
I've seen an opposition to the rules for signature national standards of absentee voter ballot applications and votes. In my opinion, these rules are the lowest of standards. We can do better and we have to do better. On Wednesday, September 29th, I attended a virtual session with SIDA. The topic of the presentation was election security. Building trust through secure practices. The main topic was building public trust in elections and counter myths and disinformation through related communications and transparency. As a clerk of a township who verifies these signatures, I do believe in the relevant facts, and the facts are that all signatures will be presumed valid. Signatures with differences that are multiple, significant, and obvious are valid. Signatures with all constituencies can still be accepted if one redeeming factor is determined whether or not it negates multiple significant and obvious deficiencies. The most confusing factor to consider when verifying identity on a signature is the voter's primary language. How would any language contribute to different characteristics of the voter's signature? I have asked the Bureau of Elections this question, and I'm still awaiting the answer. The hypocrisy here is possible. On one hand, state government officials are boasting about secure election practices. Every signature is deemed valid only after a rigorous and actual process. And on the other hand, our state government representatives presume all signatures are valid. The Bureau of Elections is to provide as clerks examples of signatures with redeeming qualities and questionable signatures. I contacted the Bureau of Elections and asked if I could view the examples of these signatures. I was informed they already exist. With the updated date of April 2nd, 2021. These guidelines are terrible. The regulatory impact statement states different states that they looked at their guidelines and noted Colorado. I looked at Colorado's signature verification guidelines 20 pages long, compared to 4 pages presented today. Based on the material provided by the state of Colorado, I would assume that they went above and beyond in order to provide in-depth training and guidelines to their election officials. Why is the state of Michigan offering the same courtesy to those election officials responsible for verifying thousands of signatures each election? There is a Senate bill introduced and is in the Elections Committee. The bill reads, establish and require signature verification training for all county, city, and township clerks, and for all precinct inspectors that comply with the rules promulgated by the Secretary of State under subsection 3 for an objective signature verification process. Subsection 3
The objective signature verification process must not include a presumption regarding the validity of any signature that has been verified. Secretary Benson should be working with the legislature to establish special law and produce sufficient training and material to clerks and election inspectors. There is no mention of training election officials in the proposed rules. Instead, it appears the intention to bypass legislature entirely and quietly pass the rules using this Administrative Procedures Act. There are notifications sent daily through email on the secretaries, state opinions on proposed rules, along with the Attorney General and the Governor. They consistently trumpet their support or opposition to legislature and rules, even in other states. Why are they not shining as much light on the rules here today if they will in fact benefit our electoral process? I don't know about others here, but I did not have friends that can't write an analysis and would no longer be no closer to becoming one with the 7 examples of signatures provided by the Bureau of Elections and the directive to assume all signatures are valid, no matter the amount of deficiencies. As one of many clerks in Michigan responsible for verifying signatures, I request these rules be taken back to the drawing board and that more stringent standards be applied and proper training be provided to clerks and election inspectors. Evil is everywhere in our world today, and we cannot, in good faith, presume it's not involved in our election process. According to the article published on February 5th, 2021, titled Pandemic Proves to be Fertile Ground for Identity Thieves. Based on the FTC reporting, the number of identity theft cases more than doubled in 2020 from 2019. The FTC has an interactive map that breaks down fraud by state year and quarter. In Michigan, all of 2020, there were 93,387 total number of fraud, identity theft, and other reports made. Of those, there were over 12,000 imposter schemes. 2 quarters in 2021, we have already bypassed the number of imposter schemes reported at over 13,000. According to the regulatory impact statement and cost-benefit analysis, the proposed rules presented would codify current practices established in 2020 as a result of the pandemic. It allows voters to submit applications to apply online that captures the voter's signature on their driver's license and applies it to the application. Now, when we receive these applications, we do go through the signature verification. In this case, 100% of the signatures would match because the QVF signature is what is printed on the application. There would be no doubt room for fraud to come in and take somebody's identity and unbeknownst to them apply for an absentee ballot online. The rules protect health and safety and welfare and promote regulatory environment in Michigan that is the least burdensome alternative because it provides additional methods for obtaining ballots and attempts to remove or lessen existing barriers. For example, current practices require a voter to download and print the absentee voter ballot application after completion of the form is mailed to the voter's local clerk. By allowing submission online, certain barriers such as printing and mailing are limited. This is the answer to RIS question number 8. The argument here is posed is meritless. Few common voters are expected to complete an FPCA, which requires downloading, printing, physically signing, and either scanning or mailing back to the local clerk. The same downloading and printing process applies to remove ballots that are electronically sent to our servicemen. I had a specific voter in 2020 who overcame these barriers while stationed in Iraq. If they can do it, I'm sure anybody here in Michigan can do the same. Thank you.
Right on.
last election.
Maybe 2 seconds back. But the importance of this today is because under our United States Code 52, subsection 20541, they discuss election law as
I'm gonna go sign.
knowingly and willfully depriving, defrauding, or attempting to deprive or defraud the residents of a state of a fair and impartially conducted election by the procurement or submission of voter registration applications that are known by the person to be false, materially false, fictitious, or fraudulent under the laws of the state. The laws previously, and this one now, the online application process are not listed in our election laws as a way that you can apply for an absentee voter ballot or a way that you can submit a ballot at all. So that means you've already been in violation of the state law, willfully, knowingly. Already in violation of the law. So to me, United States Code 52, dealing with election fraud, what are the fraud secretary, which shall provide in accordance with Title 18, which fine shall be paid into the general fund of the treasury, miscellaneous dues pursuant to section 3302 of Title 31, notwithstanding any other law or imprisoned not more than 5 years for both. For accountability needs to be seen and needs to be upheld, and also that you names, first and last, I think that could be really appreciated by all of us.
I have their names and titles if anyone wants it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Doug, Adam, Ryan, and Jonathan.
Power to the people!
Right, here again, I drove 4 hours to make sure our voices are heard all across the state. I wish I could ask, why would anybody want to weaken the election system? But I know the answer. I've done my research. I've been researching this stuff for 14 years. Deep state, the wall, corruption, you know what I'm saying? So we know why Johnson wanted to weaken the election. She's a criminal, she's unlawful. Why is there no media here? Why wasn't the nerd clergy notified? Because she wanted to do criminalistic activities under the radar, not letting people know. I don't know if y'all work for criminals. You know, is one of y'all names Mr. Fakasi, however you say it, is that one of y'all? That's you? Okay, you didn't fill out the RIS forms correctly, Mr. Fakasi. You need to step down too. You know what I'm saying? Jocelyn Vincent, y'all boss, she's corrupt, the board of elections. Y'all scared to give y'all names out because y'all know y'all support the criminals or y'all complicit to the criminal activity. You know what I'm saying? So, why is the form not filled out correctly? Why is it filled out deceitfully, Mr. Fakasi? Everybody write that name down. Mr. Fakasi, why didn't you compare it to other standards and other states and other... Hello, Mr. Fakasi.
I am listening.
Okay. Why didn't you fill out the form correctly? I think it should be voided just because you didn't put in the proper information that's needed to know what's going on with these rules.
Here.
Did you fill out the other ones? Because they all should be null and void because you are purposely keeping information from these forms that's supposed to be in these forms so we can make proper assessments and conclusions as to what's behind these rules actually. It's corruption and you're complicit too because you filled out the form, Mr. Fakasi.
Little Kool-Aid staying in Mr. Picasso's house.
Can I get your name? Or you guys mute? Have a calendar?
Okay, we're
Hello?
gonna go on. We've got another thing here.
No. We the people hold the power. We the people hold the power. Y'all can't have a civilized conversation, a two-way conversation. We gotta sign our names, address, email, but y'all don't have to give us our name. Y'all names. We gotta find it out ourselves.
Sir, we have another speaker behind you.
We all saying the same stuff.
Sir, we have another person.
Ain't no support here for these Your day is coming. Justice is coming. Justice is coming, Mr. Fracassi. Mr. Fracassi, you need to learn how to fill out forms correctly. I can't even stand to be in the presence of rhinos and swamp creatures. Y'all want us to be nice and politically correct while y'all destroy our country. Y'all are destroying our country. Y'all are destroying our country. I can't, they destroying our country. It's hard for me to sit here. Yeah, and you destroying our country. For the record. Sorry, I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm sorry. It's hard. You know it's hard. We are frustrated with these people.
It's very obvious that we are all in vehement opposition to these three measures, and that there's a lot of motion here. I would just like to, my husband and I looked over a very extensive article, and this is pertaining to the last measure, 062, that has to do with digital signatures versus manual signatures and the potential for fraud. I would just like to read one paragraph out of this article, and this is what can happen if fraud does happen. It says handwritten signatures are extremely simple and easy to understand. The forensics techniques used to detect fraud are easily explained to lawyers, judges, and juries. Digital signatures are fiendishly complex, involving arcane number theory, the workings of the computer operating system, communication protocols, certificate chain processing, certificate policies, and so on. There are very few people on this planet, if any, who completely understand every process involved in generating and verifying a digital signature. The potential for confused lawyers, judges, and juries is extreme. So, not only if fraud were to take place, it could be, it's almost impossible to prove. So I would just like to maybe look at that. Thank you. Thank you.
We have one last person signed up to speak, and then we will be closing hearing. Just wanted to point out for those of you who didn't show up here, when we opened the hearing, I introduced myself as Dr. Logik. I'm the Regulatory Affairs Officer. This is Anna Fracassi from the Michigan Pharmaceutical State subject matter expert in your elections. And
Joke.
we are here to hear your public comment and call the last person.
No, not the
So,
last. Second to the last.
can we get a statement from Adam why the form isn't filled out correctly? Can we get a statement why the form isn't filled out correctly? But you need to say why the form ain't filled out correctly. Yeah, yeah. So you gonna say it after her?
It is her turn to speak. Let her speak. Or else we need to be escorted out. She has a right to speak. She deserves.
She can speak. He can speak too, right?
This is a public hearing. Proceed, ma'am.
My name is Lisa and I would like to reiterate again my opposition to all three suggestions that Secretary of State Benson would like to put forward. I am also going to reiterate that I'm embarrassed that it took until I was the age of almost 60 to actually pay attention to politics. I was seeking my education, I was working in public health and raising my family, and I just let the process roll. After the last 18 months, I'm awake, and I realize that I do need to use my voice because silence just allows everything.
Amen.
The status quo.
Amen.
I am really trying to exercise myself, I've attended hearings, most of them via Zoom, but I've watched other people speak. I've watched them be disrespected. I feel that I don't really have a voice, even though I'm here speaking today, based on some of the comments that were made about things that have already moved forward. And so I appreciate, because I was a little late, that you were able to identify yourself and tell us where you were from. But I believe you would like to know what the process is when we leave today. Do all these comments just go into a computer?
Right,
database?
right.
Or is there a separate ad hoc committee or
Mm-hmm.
the committee? Because the person who really needed to hear what we had to say was Secretary of State Benson, and she's not here. So what happens to our voice? What happens to our comments? If you could at least just allude to that, I would be very grateful. Thank you.
Good job, good job. Good job, sister.
I spoke earlier, I only need a moment. Which rules that would you? Well, actually, all three, I spoke in opposition. I have an addendum to my comments. I've sat here and listened for over 2 hours to all these lovely people in this room, many of whom left to get back to their lives. I just want to say, my name is Ronald Petrowski, R-O-N-A-L-D, P-I-O-T-R-O-W-S-K-I. All these people who are here today speaking to you, you can see their passion, you can see their emotion, you can see how upset we, the public, are at what is going on in our country and what is going on with our only legal avenue, the right to vote. And that's all we want. It's a fair election and the right to vote. So we all came here, we prepared commentary, and we are citing laws and rules. We're calling all types of referential information. I don't know for sure what good it does. I hope it does so. My question is, we thank you, and we appreciate the opportunity to voice these concerns to you. What I don't have the confidence in, do you guys really listen to the public? Are you listening to what these good people are telling you? We are all so upset that we can barely hold our emotions in about what is going on in the state of Michigan and across the entire country.
Amen.
And we need people like you to take this message back to the people that make these silly rules and break them.
They
and
part.
do the things that what they want to in order to get an outcome that they prefer. And walk all over voter rights. It's just not correct. It's wrong. It's criminal. What are we to do? We have no other avenue.
Lock them up.
In a hearing like this, in our vote. And you want to take that vote and make it such that fraudulent representation can take my vote and skew it. My vote may not count. It might be somebody who stole my vote, my ballot, and put it in. So, I beg and I pray that you people are listening to the message that is delivered.
Amen.
One person spoke in support of any one of these issues today. That speaks volumes to me. So, what I'd like to do is ask you to take this back to the people who need to know, share it with them, and let them see how passionate the public is. They need to pay attention, and they need to follow the rule of law. That being said, if you choose not to do that, I would like to simply say, let's take one moment of silence for the death of voter rights in the state of Michigan. If we don't get this message back,
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Ron.
Additional comments regarding the proposed rules that you may wish to share with us can be submitted in writing to, again, as I stated at the beginning, elections@michigan.gov. Again, it's elections@michigan.gov. The record will remain open until 5 o'clock today. It is 11:07, and I declare this hearing closed. Thank you.
That was elections.michigan.gov.
Yes, elections.
Why didn't you open your meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance?
Lord, give me the strength to remain calm up in here. I got a question for Mr. Fracassi.
Who taught you how to fill out them forms? Look, don't touch me.
Okay, all right, that's fine. You just can't approach.
You just approached me. How you gonna tell me I can? Listen, man, you don't know who I am, bro. I know the Constitution. I'm a mighty child of God. Don't bother me, brother. Don't bother me. No, I don't gotta go nowhere. I'm fine. So, I'm perfectly fine. This ain't that type of party. I'll let you know that right now. Your little Secret Service, fake cop looking. This is not that type of party, bro. Touch me if you want to. And here supporting these criminals. I wish they would. I wish they would. This ain't that type of party. I'm a mighty warrior for God right here. Mighty warrior for God. I know the Constitution. I know the Constitution. I know the Bible. I ain't worried about no police. Try to touch me. This ain't that type of party. Be the last child of God y'all touch.
Be careful. Calm it down. What you say? FBI Proud Boys. And they're getting.
Yeah, they try to get their little. Look, they try to. It's four state police outside, 2 undercovers in there. They tried to start calling. He might be a fake one right there too. All these little fake security guys. Man, let me get up out of this building. That's why I can't be in government buildings, because there's so much corruption. There's so much wicked, evil spirits. Then you got all these workers in here who don't know nothing about it. Just all these demonic spirits all through these hallways. The Bible tells us all about it. People go to church once a week, think they know enough about, no. You need to be exposing and fighting against these demonic buildings that you working up in. Try to call the police. Shoot. I slide right up out of there just like Jesus. You know how Jesus disappeared when they try to encircle him. They try to encircle Jesus. He slide right up on out of there. Fake security guards, fake police. I don't trust no state police. They listen to Governor Whitmer. Sure. They listen to Governor Whitmer. I'm about to. They tried to start coming up in there. They had lists. Yeah, Bill Bailey, what's up, brother? They up in that, boy. They had 4 police, state police sitting outside the door. And then they had 2 police in suits try to come up in there. Come here, let me talk to you. Don't touch me, brother. Hold on. I know the Bible. I know my Constitution. Matter of fact, I got it right in my back pocket. Look, bam, touch me. Common law handbook. Touch me. I wish y'all would. Fake police, fake cops, fake public, fake officials. They don't even know me. I drove 4 hours, come down here. I'm representing for every one of y'all watching who couldn't be here. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm about to go interview Christina Karama or somebody. I gotta go interview Christina. Let me put they got me so worked up. Try to have dude come put his hands on me. Y'all see, he don't know who I am. Don't touch me, bro. I press charges on you right here in this corrupt building. You and whoever else. Every dirty cop. We down here in Detroit. You know, it's so much corruption going on down here. Where the TCF Center? All this corruption. All these workers in the building don't know nothing. They all got masks on like some retards. Or we just following orders. They gonna learn today. Try to steal our country. Want us to sit there and be nice and respectful. They disrespectfully stealing our country, destroying our country. But we supposed to be nice. How I'ma sit and be nice while y'all destroy our country and lie and deceive us, and I'm supposed to sit down and be nice? Why y'all look us in the face and lie to deceive us? I'm sorry, bro. That's not in my blood. That's not in my blood. I'm here ticked off for all the people who should be ticked off, who don't even care and don't even know. Sure. I need somebody with me to calm me down. Normally, I like to take my pastor. Whoever come with me or see me at an event when I'm confronting a swamp creature, please keep me in prayer and keep me calmed down from getting, because it's so hard. It's so hard staring at these evil communists. Then they try to call the police because we mad because y'all still in our country. We can't be mad. Oh, what y'all gonna do? Detain me? I'm gonna be like y'all did January 6 people? Come on, man. Y'all got the wrong one today. They don't want no smoke. God bless y'all. They don't want no smoke. They don't want no smoke. I wish like Bernie Mac say, I wish a MF would. I wish a MF would. Snakes. You see what they do? Try to call some fake cops as soon as you show some passion up in there. As soon as they see you know the law and the truth. They want to get to threatening, calling, oh, we need backup down here. We got one acting out. We got one acting out. Nah, bro. The whole country. I represent the 80%. I represent the 80%. God bless all y'all for tuning in. They done got me worked up again, man. They lucky. They lucky. They got me worked up. God bless y'all, man. I'm about to go try to calm down, go see if I can find Sister Christina Caramo and try to find a couple of people that spoke and get some interviews for y'all, man. Thank you, everybody. I couldn't speak much while I was in there. It was already hard to hear people, but thank you, everybody, for the donations. Brother Bill in the building, brother Sister Dixie. We got V-Ward in the building. Warrior Princess. Family PS Gameplay. Julie Erickson. Sister Kathleen up in here. Thank y'all, man. Brother George Kerr. Agent O. We got Bill Bailey up in here. God bless you. Y'all see Mr. Fracassi in there? They wanted to give us their names after we had already figured it out. Don't try to give us y'all names now. Y'all got a couple of investigative journalists up in here. It's a room full of warriors. Ticked off warriors. That little small room right there represents the whole state of Michigan. While y'all want to try to do stuff on the low. Oh, Jocelyn Benson, where's 100% fed up? Where's Gateway Pundit? Where's 9 and 10 News? Where's 7 and 4? Why wasn't nobody in there reporting on this, huh? I drove 4 hours to come report on this. This is a highly important event. Can y'all imagine if wasn't nobody in there reporting? Wouldn't nobody even know what old sneaky snake, slimy Jocelyn Benson up to, man? These criminals. These is criminals, man. Leading our country into destruction, and they keep it off the mainstream media. All they put on the mainstream media is lies. They keep the truth off of there. Ain't no camera crew in there, not one. But your boy in there, and just keep praying for me. I'm gonna get more equipment. I'm gonna get microphones that I can set right up there on the podium. So even if they ain't got a microphone on, we gonna still get the audio. All right, I'm about to get up out of here, man. I'm about to see if I can find Christina and get a couple interviews in, man. God bless y'all. Thank you, everybody, showing love, tuning in. We have, you know what I'm saying, it was only about probably maybe 50, 60 people in the building. We had almost the same amount of people watching on the live. So it's a blessing to be able to get the message out, man. Share this. Keep spreading the truth. Keep fighting. It was absolutely no support for them rules. So we all got the proof. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Back in once again to another episode of Logik. you guys enjoyed this video, like, share, drop comments, and leave a prayer request down below. And subscribe so you can stay notified each and every time our weekly content is uploaded. God